extreme weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. A severe weather update starts right now.
Multiple confirmed tornadoes over the last few hours across parts of central Alabama as a dynamic weather system continues to move by the deep south. We've got storms on the way for the overnight hours that could bring heavy rain and maybe even a few tornadoes in areas of gusty winds to parts of South Alabama and maybe even northwest Florida. Good Thursday evening to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Thanks for being with us on this very active weather day, especially for the central part of Alabama, where we have had multiple confirmed tornado touchdowns. There have been areas of damage, specifically near the city of Leeds, Alabama, that took a direct hit from possibly what was a large tornado. Several other tornadoes across the central part of the state. You can see the radar is very active this evening, where we have this ongoing tornado watch just to our north. We're going to get in there and talk about what is happening right now in just a few minutes, but I want to shift gears and talk about what you can expect over the next few hours, because we are looking at an active weather pattern in the overnight hours. Could have a few tornadoes, particularly inland, where we have the greatest combination and overlap of those severe weather ingredients, greatest instability, and also shear values. Now keep in mind, we are now after sunset, obviously, and so the ingredients are gradually going to diminish. Not only the CAPE, the instability going down, but the dynamics of this weather system are lifting off to the north. And so severe weather issues becoming less likely, but we are not at a zero risk just yet. That will come around 3 a.m. In addition to tornadoes, also talking about the potential for gusty winds, maybe even some hail. We have had large hailstones falling earlier this evening near Tuscaloosa, associated with a tornadic supercell that moved through the southern side of Tuscaloosa. No reports of damage out of Tuscaloosa at this point. So over the next few hours, this line of storms is going to push to the southeast. As it does so, it is likely to gradually weaken. And so we will have rain and thunderstorms, but overall the severe weather risk is expected to gradually diminish as this line of storms continues pushing off to the southeast. And keep in mind, we will have rain even on on Friday morning in some areas in northwest Florida. Probably not in southwest Alabama. I think the rain should be long gone by the time we get to, say, 6 a.m. But this is going to be a decaying line of storms that moves to the southeast across the remainder of Alabama. This thing moved into the northwestern corner of the state earlier today. Several tornado warnings back in northwest Alabama, Mississippi earlier in the day, and now the whole complex of storms is moving across the central part of the state. And again, this storm is going to weaken, this line of storms, I should say, as it continues working its way to the southeast, but can't completely rule out a few tornadoes, particularly in areas just to our north, where we have this ongoing level 2 risk. The level 3 risk is gone. The Storm Prediction Center has canceled that out now that storms have moved through this more volatile region of the atmosphere. And in its wake, we've still got central portions of the state extending up to northeast Alabama in this level 2 risk. For our area, the greatest chance of any severe storms in the overnight hours is going to happen along and north of US Highway 84. And so what that means is, if you're in Thomasville, Fulton, Grove Hill, Veredenburg, Camden, Butler, Gilbertown, areas near Selma, those are the areas that have the greatest risk of severe storms over the next several hours. But once storms start moving to the southeast into the core or the heart of our local area, the atmosphere is not as unstable. And thus, you've got this lower end level 1 out of 5 risk for the entire rest of the local area. In other words, all areas not included in this yellow zone are involved in this darker shade of green, where we have a level 1 out of 5 low end severe weather risk. But keep in mind, low end does not mean zero. And so you got to have a way to receive the warnings just in case we happen to have a few tornadoes in the overnight hours. So again, there's the risk level across the state of Alabama. Tomorrow, storms will be off to the east and much weaker at that point. General thunderstorms possible to our east on Friday. You may be wondering, why in the world are we having severe weather issues tonight across the state? It's because of this. We have a cold front coming in. You can see the clear difference in temperatures. In fact, let's show you the current temperatures as they stand right now. We're still at 70 degrees at Mobile on this mid-February day as of 7 o'clock. And the cold front is on the way. Big thermal gradient here. In fact, look at this. At Tupelo, Mississippi, you got 64 degrees. Back behind the front, near areas like Memphis, Tennessee, already in the 30s and 40s. So a big temperature swing right along that cold front, and that's going to push off to the southeast and ultimately kick storms out to the east as well. We get a nice weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Highs going to be in the 60s, and another unsettled weather pattern going to happen next week. Looking like Monday and Tuesday should be okay. There will be showers around, but we're not expecting severe storms at this point. Could have a few storms around on Wednesday, but we'll worry about that with time. Again, we're concerned about the potential for a few strong to severe storms in the overnight hours. Here's the infrared satellite loop, by the way, and you can see those swaths of deeper convection in through here that cause the tornado issues earlier to our north. Let's go back over to the radar and show you the local view as it stands right now, because we are tracking these thunderstorms inbound from southeast Mississippi. We'll put this in motion, and it looks like we're going to have heavy rain starting in places like Thomasville, Campbell, Coffeyville over the next few minutes. So shifting at this point, talking about the forecast to instead talking about what's happening right now. Let's zoom into the local area here in northern Choctaw and northern Clark counties. You've got thunderstorms happening near the Tombigbee River. This is Choctaw County here. This is Marengo. This is Clark County. Got a band of storms basically right over the Tombigbee River pushing off to the east. I should mention as well, we do have an ongoing tornado watch that does continue for counties to our north. I'll show you that briefly. No part of South Alabama or Northwest Florida south of Thomasville is involved in this tornado watch. And for those asking, we may get a tornado watch in, say, an hour or two, but it's questionable. We may not. So it's kind of a 50-50 deal on that. I don't know just yet if the Storm Prediction Center is going to issue a tornado watch. Marengo, Dallas, Autauga counties points north in central Alabama remain involved in this tornado watch, but we note that the Weather Service up here in Birmingham continues to clear out these counties as this main line of storms continues to push off to the southeast. So again, Sumter, Greene, Hale, Marengo, Dallas counties points back off to the north and east involved in this tornado watch. But for now, no local counties are involved in the ongoing tornado watch. Let's zoom in back here. Here's your main line of storms. This is the I-59 corridor in southeast Mississippi, and this is the main event tonight. You can see we do have a few strikes of lightning, not too many, 19 strikes of lightning over the last few minutes. And once this batch of storms passes through your location in the overnight hours, once this moves into southwest Alabama and northwest Florida, you'll get an all clear. So again, this is the main event tonight, and could have a few storms out ahead of it that fire up, but that's questionable at this point. So that's the main batch of storms. Let's go over and look at some of these showers, because we do have ongoing rain happening near the Alabama Highway 41 corridor near Repton and Range. That shower is going to lift to the north out towards Burnt Corn. You've also got a shower there happening near Midway outside of Evergreen. Showers also happening across much of Okaloosa County, extending from Niceville up 85 up to Crestview, back up to Campton and Auburn there in Okaloosa County, Florida. Not Auburn, Alabama, but Auburn, Florida. And a few showers also happening there near Atmore, Porch, coming into areas near Robinsonville. All this mess is way below severe limits. This is not really a concern as much as it is just a curiosity. Showers also happening in parts of southern Baldwin County, south of US Highway 98, out here near Alberta, and also you've got showers happening out near Fort Morgan. Those are pushing towards Magnolia Springs, and so not really expecting severe weather issues from those developing showers, but something to keep an eye on nonetheless in the radar over the next few hours. Again, all these showers across our region are A-OK, way under severe limits. Our eyes are back here on these storms now back in West Alabama and Southeast Mississippi that will cross our area. Low-end tornado risk, gusty winds possible over the next few hours. Please have a way to get those warnings before you go to sleep. And, I get tons of questions. Should I stay up and, watch the radar intently? This is not a night for, major storm anxiety. It's just not. The atmosphere to our north has been more unstable today. Where we are in South Alabama and Northwest Florida, yes, you may have an isolated severe storm, 1 or 2 in the overnight hours. And of course, we want you to have a way to receive the warnings. And if we get warnings, of course, we'll come on Facebook Live. But it's just not a night where the ingredients across our area are going to be highly conducive for severe weather. And so what I would do if I were in your shoes is I would have a way to get the warnings, like a NOAA weather radio. You got to have something that will wake you up, and I would go to bed. I mean, this is just not a night to stay up and worry. There's just no need for that. as these storms are mostly going to be tame, going to be fine. Most of us are simply going to have some rain and maybe a few claps of thunder and some lightning involved. That's going to be the real deal across the region tonight. And again, maybe a stronger storm or two. That can't be completely ruled out, but it is a low end risk, especially farther to the south. If you're down here south of I-10, you're going to be in good shape most likely. There's just not really an issue farther south. But again, farther inland, the risk is just a bit higher. And so Monroeville, Thomasville, Fulton, Greenville, those are the communities that we'll really be watching over the next few hours to see if we can get some of these stronger storms to flare up and perhaps briefly produce a tornado warning. But again, I'm not going to stay up and worry, and I would suggest that you shouldn't either. Just have a way to get those warnings in the overnight hours. I do hope you have a wonderful Thursday evening. My next forecast video will be posted at 7:15 a.m. on Friday, unless we happen to have a tornado warning in our local area. Of course, we'll jump back on Facebook Live to bring you the latest if that happens. Hope you have a good night. We will see you soon.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.